Hi, beloveds. My name is Tamala Malay, your empowerment partner. And I'm a psychic channel, a teacher, and an empowerment coach. And I wanted to just touch base with you today and talk to you a little bit about what Spirit said to me today in reference to what's going on the planet and my new course program that they're having me launch right now, right in the middle of this coronavirus outbreak, right? This pandemic. Today is March 24th, 2020. And yesterday, I actually asked Spirit, so why are you having me launch my new program now, right? You knew about this program. You knew about this pandemic, right? You knew all of this was going to be happening right now. So why now? Why am I going to be launching a program that's going to ask people to invest their money into a program that will change their lives, but for people who are in a state of feeling out of control, feeling maybe less confident in their income, worried about their health and so forth, right? It's like, why now? And for those of you who know me, I always ask for 3 confirmations. And so the first confirmation was yesterday. And they said, do you remember when you first found out about this Akashic record work? When you had the session and when you realized from that session how your life and the life of your children could have been so different. And I just had a wave of emotion of that feeling that I felt at that time when I finally understood the choices that I had made in past lives that had put me in a situation of being sexually abused as a child, of being married to people who were not monogamous, for being married to an alcoholic, for being financially dependent on men, for only having enough money, never more, just enough, of all these different limiting situations. And it was like, holy smokes, God, yes, I remember that. Yes, I remember that feeling and that thought of, oh my God, I understand now. I understand now. I understand now. And my life completely changed. And they said, don't you think that now is the perfect opportunity for other people to understand why they are where they are? And I was like, yeah, wow, absolutely. So I said, okay, all right, fine. So I'll get on and do a video tomorrow. Fine, I'll do that. So they woke me up this morning, and remember, I'm looking for my 3 confirmations, and that I always talk to Spirit in the morning. And they woke me up this morning and said, are you going to do the video today? And I said, yeah, I'm going to do the video. I'm not sure what I want to say, but I'm going to do the video. And they said, imagine what it would feel like if the whole world understood how they create their consequences. If they understood how they could have a life like you have right now. And those of you who don't know, you don't know the life I have right now, so I'll tell you really quickly. I'm working from home. I work from home all the time. I have 100% online business right now. My income is phenomenal. My time with my clients is incredible and wonderful. I'm able to stand in my soul purpose as divine truth and divine self-expression, sharing what is true, what is useful, what is supportive, and what is empowering for myself and for others and for the world altogether. I get to enjoy my life. I get to paint. I get to play with jewels and work with the goddess and play music and do all of these wonderful things on a daily basis. And my life is a joy. My beloved's life, he is a hardware engineer. And so, you know, he's not considered essential employee, right? But he has the ability to work from home. So he's gathered up a lot of his stuff from his work office and he's brought it home, and I work upstairs and he works downstairs now. And it is set up now so that both of us are able to continue to work, continue to receive our full income in a way that is not disruptive to either one of us, because we're not in each other's space. We are able to maintain our creativity, remain our ability to communicate with the people we need or want to communicate with concerning our businesses, and so forth. So the only difference for us is that my beloved doesn't have to drive back and forth to work. That's the only thing that's changed for us. Our health is the same. Our finances are the same. Our joy and pleasure in being around each other is the same, right? And so their question was, wouldn't it be wonderful if everyone else who is impacted by this pandemic right now, that they would be able to have the experience that you have, that your life really is not any different. It's still as wonderful and happy as it has been for the last year or so. And I was like, oh, yes, yes, I absolutely would want everybody on the planet to have this kind of experience, to be able to understand, be prepared, be aware, be careful, do all the things that we need to do so that we can stay safe and healthy, but also not have to worry about their income, their finances, their health, right? All of those things. And when I say worry, I mean worry in a way that would be detrimental to them being able to continue to attract positive health and positive income and positive resources, right? So I was waiting for my third confirmation. So I was in the shower, and I talked to Spirit in the shower a lot too. And I was in there and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do this video, but what do you want me to say? I don't understand what you want me to say. And they said, okay, here it is, your divine truth and your divine self-expression. So you're going to have to say this. And it's like, okay, fine, I'll say it. And they said, tell them it's time to stop fucking around. And I was like, what? What? You want me to say that? And they said, yes. And here's why. All of the people who are on the planet right now are here because you are either for the evolution of the planet or you're against the evolution of the planet. There's nobody here that's neutral, okay? You're here either for the evolution or against the evolution. And the people that are leaving now, the majority of them that are leaving, even through this pandemic, have completed their mission here. They've completed their time here. It was a time that they chose to leave. And while it may be heartbreaking for us, we have to honor their choices. And as we move forward, the idea and the concepts of the way that we did business, the way that we managed our integrity, and the way that we managed our personal empowerment around our finances, our health, our relationships, our ability to have freedoms and rights and responsibilities are changing. And they're changing because it is time. It's time for us to take responsibility and authority for our experiences. If you're in a shit job right now where you got laid off and you don't know where your money's coming from, you are the one that needs to know how to be empowered. If you know people who are going through that situation and you want to know how you can serve them best, you can know how they created their experiences, how they got themselves into this disempowered state, so that you can help them get out of that state and become empowered, so that they are not at the mercy of a sickness, or at the mercy of politicians or Wall Street or anything else. And so it's really super important for us to understand that we are exactly where we are right now through the choices we've made, whether we're in a wonderful, happy place or if we're in a really shitty place. It doesn't matter. We created those choices. And I've just done 2 videos, one on manifesting money and more, and it talks about some information there about how we can manifest money, how that process really works. And then I've done a second video, which is a webinar on the Akashic Records, because that is how we are learning how we can change our lives, how we understand our choices. And I'll give you a little bit of information on that. The Akashic Records holds all of our choices, past, present, and future, every choice that we've ever made. And we are able, through this specific Akashic Record modality, to go into the Akashic Records and find out what are the exact choices that we made that created the consequence that we are experiencing right now. The consequence of lack, the consequence of feeling out of control, the consequence of having a job where you only get by, the consequence of being in ill health, right? Consequence of having relationships that are not supportive in whatever that way that may be for you. And we're able not only to see the choice that we made, but we're able to clear those choices so that they don't continue to create consequences for us. And we're able to learn mentally and emotionally how to begin to make different choices. That's what the Your Empowered Practitioner program is about learning how to teach yourself and how to teach others how to make better choices. So I said, okay, so you want me to tell them to stop fucking around? They're like, yes, yes, yes. We cannot, people on the planet cannot continue to walk around blindly expecting other people to heal our lives for us, to expect politicians to make policies so that we're safe and healthy, to expect businesses to make sure that we have enough money to get by. That is not the way that the world is going to work from this moment forward, okay? It's just not, because we are all evolving. Our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, our spiritual bodies, the planet itself is all evolving into 5D. And as we're moving up into that 5D divine sacred partnership paradigm experience, we're having to take personal individual responsibility. And the way that I am called to teach that is through this Akashic Record training and through the Your Empowered Practitioner training. So I would invite you to watch the 2 videos, and I'm going to put the link either in the comments or the description, depending on where you're watching this. And I'm going to invite you to watch those videos and to also submit your application so that we can have a conversation about you joining the program. The program is 73% off right now, 73% off. That means you're paying what, 27% of the actual price of the course? You can't beat that. And so there is zero reason why we will continue to be in a state of disempowerment. There is zero opportunity for us to say, I can't. Because there's always something we can do. There's always something that we can do to take our own personal steps of empowerment so that we can begin to move towards what it is we want to be and do and have in this life. Not just when we're not in a body, but while we're in a body, while we're here living the life, having experiences, doing the day-to-day stuff, right? It can be easy. And I'm proof of that. It can be easy. It can be abundant. It can be joyful. But you've got to get yourself the knowledge and the wisdom to understand how to do it. And that's what I'm here to do. So again, I invite you to watch those videos. Send me an email at info@yourownsoul.com so that I can, so that we can set up a time to chat to see if the program itself is going to be right for you. I hope that this has inspired you at least somewhat to know that now is not the time to continue to allow life to happen to you, because it's not. This is the time where you are going to build the foundation of your future life and all your future lives moving forward. I hope you decide to join me to learn how to do that in an empowered and informed and transformative and intelligent and logical and miracle making, honest to goodness, not fucking around way. Talk with you soon.